lined paper, which is fine. We all started somewhere, but I got him a nice little sketchbook. Actually, it wasn't that little. I think it was like a 9 by 12. I think like 50 sheets or something. So like a good hefty book to last him a little while. But he's been getting into it, and like I said before, he made a piece. He's like, Auntie, look what I made. And there's a drawing of the hand. Well, it goes this way, and it's like the reaching out hand where it's like, and then he's got a light switch, and I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. And that's what kind of promoted me to get him a sketchbook, is that I could see he's got some skills he's working on. So, because I don't think he had a sketchbook, because he lives with his mom part-time and then his dad part-time, so he goes back and forth, so he could have the sketchbook for at his mom's house. So, Oh, I have a problem, and I know I have a problem. I'm okay with my problem, and the first step to something is to admit you have a problem. I don't know what that something is, though. I just recently bought my son a sketchbook. He has been making all the bad guys and monsters from all the game plays. Boys and their scary gore. Yeah, that was the same with my nephew. He was doing Freddy, like the one with the bears. That game, I don't know. It was like a scary game with like all the bears. Freddy got fingered? No. Freddy Krueger? No. Five Nights at Freddy's? Five Nights at Freddy's. I think that's what it's called. He was doing a bunch of drawings from that when he was younger. And then he kind of stopped doing art and wasn't doing much of it. But then he got into anime, and he's been sketching like some frames from anime. I didn't see his stuff though. I only saw the one drawing on the fridge. So he was trying to help his friend get his Steam account back or something. It got hacked. Something got hacked, so my nephew is 13, if not 14 years old. So yeah. I just recently bought my son a sketchbook. Right, I already read that. Sketchbooks are important. They're iconic and, well, yours. I never owned a sketchbook growing up. My sketchbook was printer paper. Printer paper was my sketchbook. And as one of the goals for the birthday shenanigans month stuff is that one of it would be the showcasing of the artwork. My old sketchbook, if you will, with some old artworks. Because if I look, hold on a second, because I got a memory of a goldfish. Oh, hello. Oh, it's not on that one. I was on the right one and I didn't know it. So $300 mark, and we're currently sitting at $75. Flip through old artwork, and there's a couple old pieces down in the little square. An owl I did on watercolor on printer paper, and a dragon, which was, I think, done in acrylic. God, that background to that piece. Mind you, I don't think I have that piece anymore. I didn't flip through the old sketchbook because I wanted to keep it out of my mind so you could get like a true reaction of me being like, oh my god! No! Cringe. But we all start somewhere, so. Yep. We all start somewhere. And we all progress and morph and change and... Come at me, bitch! That was my phone. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. The closest art store to me is 40 minutes away. Their prices are always way too high, and most often they don't have any of the things I generally use unless it's yarn. Is it Michael's? That sounds like Michael's. Yeah, the art store is an hour away from me. So it is out of the way. When my dad goes and gets... has an appointment, which is like about 10 blocks away from that area, depending on how long he takes. Sometimes I'll go and kind of wander around the art store for a few minutes. But beyond that, I'm never often downtown Edmonton, so I literally am going to the art store for the art store. Or else it's like too far and gone. That's the unfortunate thing too. Online sales have decimated lots of the stores, especially on prices. Yes. Yes. My sister and I went to Michael's to go look for some items to make the shadow box. And like, it was kind of sad. Like a lot of the stuff on the shelves was like bare bones. It was like, where is all their product? Everything's online. Everybody does all the online stuff, so then they don't need as much product on the shelves. So it's like, it's so sad. And my sister and I are very much textile people, so we definitely like to go into store, go touch it, feel it, see it, hold it, measure it up. Like, it's just, we're physical looking at stuff people. And yeah, it was sad. I was like, whoa, what? We just need some supplies. Yep. Everything is online. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. I'm guilty for buying stuff online too, so. Mainly Amazon. Yeah, a few things here and there. Pardon me. So going in person, in my experience, was either absolute need or being in the area for something else. Yeah, especially that's with COVID, for sure. A lot of people just, everything online shipped to their door. So true, Cookie. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Joann's. Michael's is usually where I end up going if I'm desperate, because they usually have something that is close enough. If I go to Michael's for anything, I am buying one item and I'm using the coupon every single time. Because that shit is expensive. And I ain't paying full price for it. Nay. But it is. It's not cheap. Like looking at their sketchbook section, it's not cheap. So, no, it's not the color I wanted. This is not the color you're looking for. Gets better. Coupons are a necessity for Z Michaels. Michaels, I've noticed, is cycling out products for in-house brands, and those are something. Coupon is non-negotiable. Yepers. Yep. Totes my goats. You betcha. Ironically, Hobby Lobby and Joann's is usually more expensive around here than Michael's, but yes, you are right. The price suck all around. Mm-hmm. Well, the nice thing about Delta Art, they ship. They do shipping, and their prices are, like, great. They're constantly having sales. In which case, like, you could argue, well, they're having sales because they're just showcasing a price that I can't think of what I'm trying to say. You know when people have sales, but really they're making like an item look cheaper, but it's the actual price? Some people argue that. Like, there's scams out there, and I'm like, well, do your research, look around for that item, and see where you can get it cheaper. Delta Art is cheaper. Like, I definitely do my research when I buy things. Hashtag cannot commit. I do my research. I'm not cheap. By no means am I cheap, but I like to do my research to find where I can get the best deal for an item. So I check Delta Art, I check Michael's, I check Amazon. Like, I do my research, because if you look at my Amazon wish list, doopy-doopy-doo. Where's my Amazon wish list? Where is that? Hello? There it is. So art supplies on my Amazon wish list. There's a column where you can put like notes and stuff. So you can edit a comment, quantity or priority. And so in that comment box, what I've done is I've put in prices. So every once in a while, I'll go through the list to kind of see, okay, what's the price at now? Because apparently there's an app you can get that will tell you what the lowest price of the item is. I know X-File has it. So he'll see like the trends of it, where it like dropped in price and it increased apparently. And I'm like, what? There's a thing? But I just never got it. So I just did this way. But like there's like a water dish made by Medine on Amazon, and I don't think other places carry Medine products, so it's an online item. So their little ceramic water dish thingy, pardon me, is $24.95 plus free shipping. So in the little comment section, I have 25 and then a little arrow thingy to 23. So the highest I've seen it is 25 and the lowest I've seen it is 23. So if it goes lower than that, then I know it's pretty well the cheapest point, and then I'll put that number in, and then I'll keep an eye on it to see if it'll go lower. So over the past while, this item has only been $25 to $23, so that's the window of its price points. And then the other thing too is when Boxing Day happens and or Black Friday deals, you know, Black Friday in November, you can go to these products to see, did they really drop the price, or are they trying to scam me? Because something I've noticed is some of these items, so this item says $25 plus free shipping. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll drop it by $5 and say, oh, it's $20, but now you have to pay $4 shipping, which is the same price as what you would pay for it, you know? So I've been watching you, you know? So there's a bunch of things that, oh, here we go. Etcher, they have mini palettes. So there's like a little mini travel palette that I would love to get, but it's like $100. So right now they have it for $91.92, and I'm like, oh, that's the lowest price point I've seen it, because they've had free shipping, but the highest I've seen it was $108. The lowest I've seen it is $103. And now they're advertising it for $91.92. But you know what? Now they have plus $47 worth of shipping. No! So like they grab you there. Jackasses. So yeah, I do my research and I kind of look around and stuff. Like the Da Vinci watercolor brushes, I went to Delta and I was like, hi, do you guys have these brushes? They're like, oh, we don't carry Da Vinci watercolor brushes or any other paintbrush products. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So, hi, Jeff Bezos. Here's my money. Maybe someday I'll get it. But in the meantime, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci with what I have, you know? So, it's all in perspective. But, again, I'm not cheap. I don't cheap out on items where it's like, well, this paintbrush, it costs $16.93. But I can go to Michael's and I can get 10 brushes for $7. Why don't I just go do that? You know? Because like quality versus quantity, there's also that factor as well. So you gotta, and like do your research. Like I'm a researcher before I commit. So I do all the research. And then I go from there and then I make a purchase and I'm like, did I make the right choice? Yes, you did. Quit over analyzing, thinking about it. So that's kind of how my brain works. And I do my research before I commit. Itchy leg. Itchy leg. Squat, squat, squat. Squatty, squatty, squatty. Didn't Amazon used to have a built-in tracker? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, they do. So I think in a sense they do, but like, so this one item, these 3 paintbrushes set that I have on my wish list, it's $69.96 and has free shipping. And it says that, oh, the price dropped 12%. It was $79.29 when you added it to your wish list. So it does tell you when it drops in percentiles, in which case, when I looked at it, it was $80 and now it's $70. So yes, it did drop. And it's free shipping. So I could put the little change into my little dooter thingy and go from there. But I ain't got time for that right now. I'm streaming. So, but yeah, it helps me to keep an eye out on it so that when I'm ready to make a purchase of something. So like the Stream Deck. So one of the items I would love to have is a Stream Deck for stream so that I can hit the buttons instead of messing up my screen with hitting F11 and F9 on the keyboard. I'd love to get a Stream Deck. So that being said, the Stream Decks, if I go to streaming wish list, there's 2 different Stream Decks. There's the 15 buttons or there's the 32 buttons. So the 15 customizable buttons, the highest I've seen it was $200. The lowest I've seen it was $129.99 on a Black Friday deal. So I know it can go to $130 for that item. But that was the lowest I've seen it. Currently it's sitting at $161. So it's like in the middle range of it right now. So it's not the ideal time to purchase that. And then the 32 customizable button one for the Stream Deck is the highest I've seen it was $330. The lowest was $316. So there's not a big window there, but it has not gotten back down to $316 in a long time. So, but yeah. And then I put notes in there for myself and yeah. No, I don't want you to update. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm reading chat. Excuse you. Excuse you. So, there are other places that will raise it $5 for a week and then put coupons on it. For that will equal to the original price it was. It's a psychological warfare. Yes, Ursula. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because people see sale and they go ham because they're like, I'm saving money. As the budget mom would say, you're not saving money, you're still spending money. Anyways, you're saving money if you don't buy the item rather than buying something on sale. So, but yeah. Yeah, people see the savings and sale and they go ham. They're like, oh my God. It's like our brain's hot wire and it's like, go to buy that thing. Go to get it. Go to get it right now. Yeah. There's also hitting the effort point of research and settling to pay a few bucks over because you want to be done. Yes, Cookie. Yes, there's also that. Because research can be overwhelming depending on what it is. And like, hashtag watercolor. Watercolor paints. Holy mother of dragons. So many brands, so many companies, so many products, so many colors, so many, like, that's why when I got the little like tester sheet, I had the Winsor & Newton and the Daniel Smith. As soon as I tested Daniel Smith, boom, I was in love and I was like, I'm going with this brand because it was like testing both of them. But of course I watched like YouTube videos of like people doing comparisons and like this brand versus this brand with watercolor and their choices and their opinions. But at the end of the day, I went with Daniel Smith because I fell in love with it because I couldn't do any more research. It was going to be too difficult because good Lord. Thirsty. Yeah, so I just was like, well, going with a more expensive brand, but holy mother of dragons, the quality is sure there. At least in my opinion, from before to now. Hashtag school grade paints to professional. Bing! Yeah. But again, each to their own. Some people love M. Graham and they will sit by it and stay by it and love it and give her with that brand. It's like, you do you, boo. And some people mix all their brands together. Winsor & Newton, Daniel Smith, M. Graham, Core, Holbein, and what other brands are out there. I can't think of them, but you know what I mean. So it's overwhelming. That's for sure. So I tapped out. I was like, yep, I'm a Daniel Smith girl. And a pinch of Winsor & Newton, because there's some colors in Winsor & Newton that you can't get with Daniel Smith. Or like the brightness of it. So I do have one color of Winsor & Newton in the red that Daniel Smith didn't have. So you're sublimating certain colors for other ones, which is going to be expected because not every company is going to have the exact color that you want. So you're going to sublimate. And then I also have I picked up a green color from M. Graham. I picked up a green tube of watercolor paint from M. Graham because I wanted to try out the quality, because I was like, okay, hello, look at my greens. I use a lot of green in a lot of my pieces, so I knew it would be a color I would use. So I wanted to kind of test out their green to see if there was any difference in it. One of the differences I noticed is that putting it into a pan, because of the honey in it, it stays tacky. Like, it doesn't dry out. It's weird. It's very strange, but I have it in a half pan and it's tacky to the touch because of the honey product in it. I might have to close the window. It is getting cold in here. Stream Deck for sure is a good thing to have. Don't get the 32. You can have pages of buttons on the 15, which is what I have. I waited till Black Friday Christmas sales, or rather hubby did. That's exactly what I'm going to do again, is I think I'll wait for like Black Friday Christmas sales. Because as soon as like, because I was trying to figure out, do I want the 15 or do I want the 32? Like, I don't know. But I know I would like a Stream Deck for sure. Because you girl be a streamer. So it'd be great to have. But don't get the 32A. You can have pages of buttons on the 15. I think I've seen that where you like double tap it and it goes into like a folder, if you will, and you have more buttons. You gotta set everything up. I think I've seen Bailey J do it, where she set up her thingy like many years ago, but I've since forgotten. And I just basically, if it's more than $50, I sit on it. So I wait. I personally don't like Daniel Smith as much. I love Core though. Yeah, exactly. Each to their own. And like, you love Core and I've never tried Core, so I can't speak about it, but I'm a Daniel Smith girl, whereas you're like, nope, Daniel Smith I don't really care for. It's not my jam, but totally fine. Totally fine. Totally understandable. But I heard Core is a good brand, like with the reviews I was watching and stuff. I was like, Core, I see you, duh. I see you. Because like people do price point comparisons as well. So like bang for your buck and such. I fell asleep. I was watching a gouache video, I think last night, the night before last. And I fell asleep watching it. Because while I was in bed, I was like, okay, let's look at some gouache reviews to see like what people are saying. Because I have Daniel Smith gouache that I got from Amazon. Because my art store here does not carry watercolor gouache with Winsor & Newton. So they have other brands, like they have the Holbein. I'm calling it Holbein. They have that brand, but they have... And then they have some other gouache brands, but they do have Core watercolor. But again, it's going down that slope of, okay, how many brands do I want to buy and try now? Because it gets expensive. That's why the color, wow, I'm talking a million miles a minute. Holy hobbit. I think my nap, like, gave me a second boost. That's why the color dot sheet with regards to, the swatches, I don't know why more companies don't do that. Because that's so beneficial and huge. Because now I know exactly who, what, when, where, why, and how with their colors. And I'm like, yep, I'm getting that one. I wish more well, I do, but I don't. I wish more companies would do that, where they would provide the color swatch sheets, so that you could actually see their products instead of having to buy 1 tube or 5 tubes or an entire set, or live vicariously through somebody else and, in their opinions, purchase it based on what they've told you or what research you've done, you know? So it's, yeah. I just love art supplies. I just love it so much. It's my happy place. Can you tell? Can you tell? Well, it's a bittersweet love relationship. But when I have it, I love it. When I don't have it, then I'm like, I need it. And I don't need it. I don't know if I like that color. When in doubt, paint over it. Because gouache is like acrylic. Oh yeah, I still have student tubes, but I have tons of brands. I hit the F at point after hours of scouring little color codes on the tubes. Yep. See, that's the other thing too, is they have the color codes on the tubes for all the brands, and then you're like trying to compare them, and it's like, nope, just go with the pretty colors. What do you like about core paints, Ursa? I've never tried those. You don't need to double tap, but there is a button that you can click that will go into a folder for more buttons, and that folder can have a folder with more buttons. What? That was a mind meld. You don't need to double tap, but there's a button bloop, you can click that will go into a folder for more buttons. And that folder can have a folder bloop, with more buttons. Oh, okay. I think that made sense the second time around. I had to visually press buttons to try and get my brain to absorb words. I'm strictly a person who puts watercolor into a tray and waits till it dries to use it. Oh, you decant it. You make your own pans. I can't do wet tubes. The reason why I like them is they reactivate so fast, and I personally, yes, I do like that too. I did the research. Should I get pans or should I get tubes? Because that was another question, because you can get the pan sets and just wet it and run. Bada boom, bada bing, you got your paints. But it was like, do I go with tubes or do I go with pans? And that's one of the reasons I went with pans, is like you say, the pans reactivate so fast. You feel like they are much more saturated on the paintbrush with only a few stripes of the brush. I agree. I use an aqua brush also most of the time. Daniel Smith, I always have to work at it to get the paint up into the brush, and then I feel like I have to do a lot of layers to get the saturated effect I want. True, very true. Sorry for the bug. Okay, I'm gonna have to close that window. Good lord, the breeze is killing me. My nips could cut glass. No worries, I like to read. Oh no, go ahead. Type out all those chapters. We're very interested in what you have to say. It's all good. You're more than welcome to. You're teaching us things and we're learning through you, so it's all good. Yeah, there's different words. Different brands do different things. So like looking at that gouache video, they were testing the opacity on like a black line. And so some brands are more opaque than others. And some people want that boom, opaque gouache where you can't see through it at all. You can't see through shit. Where some people are like, meh, it doesn't matter to me. I want bright colors. So I'll go with this brand. Or I want cheap colors. Because they did the Himi watercolors. The Himi gouache. And yeah, it's interesting because their preferred brands were Arteza. Apparently Arteza gouache is pretty good, according to what they had done. So, yeah. No, it's what you prefer at the end of the day. So, with this gouache set, it's in tubes. And like I was told, when it comes to gouache, don't decant it into like pans, because then you're not getting the full effect of gouache, because gouache is supposed to be very opaque. So when it comes out of the tube, you bloop, 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 you dip it in and off you go. And so that's why I bought this guy. The ceramic tray is to put it in there so I can play with it and go. But with regards to it not being put into a like a half pans or full pans, having it, I was told that gouache doesn't reactivate very well and it gets really chunky, but the Daniel Smith is reactivating fine. Like, sure, some of these, like this guy, you can see like the dark spot. It's got a little bit of crusties in there, but as soon as I put some water in it and I go swish, 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 swish a couple times, boom. It's less opaque, but I'm still able to use it. So I like the tubes. I'm a tubes gal. So, but yeah. Okay, I gotta close that window. I got to close the window. I'm getting cold. Which is a first. So I mostly work out of tubes, but the Winsor Newton pocket set I noticed was exactly that problem of not reactivating easily. I have to pick up some core and see what they're like. Thanks for the input. You are so welcome. I could tell you so much more about why I like them. If you want to ask me more questions, feel free to PM me. Hey, you're welcome to chat about it in chat too. I'd like to hear your opinion as to why you like it. Again, Cookie and I both have not used core, so we have no idea. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say too, if you'd like to. How many times will she say that about Winsor before she does it? Or the window? Okay, I hear you loud and clear. I'll be right back. Much better. I can stick around for a bit longer if you want to nerd out about art supplies, though I do have to go to bed soon. If you gotta go to bed soon, scooter your booty off to bed. Do the adult thing. Sophia, take your own advice. Hey, I don't work until 10:30, okay? So I can sleep until 9. I'd be happy to tell you more. I will try to keep it short. It's 1 a.m. for me here, and I need to sleep also. Hey, Central Time represent. Haha, suckers. It's 1 a.m. there. Only midnight here. Astra, hello. Get your dance on. Get the dance on. I had this stuck in my head today. And the coworker I was working with, he was like, what is that from? I have no idea what that's from. Like, I have no idea what this is. And I was like, what?
I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up! Hey, hello? Can you hear me? Wake up, Chrissy. I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up.
Because apparently he's been hearing it on social media, but he doesn't know what it's from. And I was like, it's from Stranger Things. Somebody made a song out of something that was happening on the show. He's like, oh, I've not seen Stranger Things. I'm like, you should. It's good. He's like, yeah, I just don't have time. And I'm like, pardon me, I understand that. So the way I paint with watercolor is techniques I learned in college from acrylics and oil painting. Excuse me, oil painting classes. I don't use watercolor light and flowing like most people do. I use it so heavy, almost like you would gouache, and this stuff can get pretty dark. But at the same time, you can also do very transparent look if you need. A lot of other watercolors I have used like that tend to be either they are good with saturated but not good with light wash color, and the other way around. Yeah, I was the same way. So I was using watercolor like gouache or like acrylic. I was doing that for such a long time. And so for quite a while I was like, I'm not a real watercolor artist because I'm not using it like you see people using it as watercolor. And I always felt really bad because I'm like, I suck at it. Why can't I make the pretty things like all these other pretty people, like with the washes and using wet on wet technique instead of wet on dry? So I feel that I was definitely doing that method. But I was told by some fellow Twitch streamers here on Twitch who are amazing artists that Sophia, the wet on dry technique is still watercolor. I'm like, but it's not the traditional watercolor where you do the washes with the with all the water and then you let it do its thing, you know? Like, and I fuss with watercolor. I fuss with it. But I've gotten better. And so I felt like I wasn't using it properly. But then I was told otherwise. It's like, no. Wet on dry is fine. And I was like, oh okay. So that helped. But yeah, there's so many different methods with watercolor that I learned through the awesome people of Twitch that every method's a little bit different and it doesn't matter. And then I started doing some YouTube tutorials on watercolor paintings by doing like the wet on wet method. And that is a struggle, bus. Goodness. Because I am a fusser. And you can't fuss with wet on wet. You cannot. Plus, when you use it thick, it's not chalky and doesn't cover up lines as much as others do. Yes, that is true. That watercolor is not chalky. Like, this is chalky, but it's like suede. And I thought it would be way more chalkier and that I wouldn't like the texture. But I really, really, really like it. It's like soft. And it's not chalky. Like, it doesn't leave chalk residue. Oh, okay. You're working it dry then. I wonder how it's compared if... Blah, blah, blah. I wonder how it's composed if it's not getting chalky. Someone pointed out recently that Holbein apparently doesn't have much of a oxgal arc. What? I do use watercolor with washes sometimes, but only for bigger pieces. ATCs are such hard to do with washes on. That's a good question. See, I've noticed that my watercolors don't get chalky. Like my school grade and even Daniel Smith, I think. I'm still new to Daniel Smith, so it's hard to kind of say. Like, this is chalky. But it's that's gouache for you. Gouache is chalky. I'll have to pick up some tubes. I see they're a Golden brand, and I was already going to check out their acrylics once. I have time to invest in a new medium. Oh, they're Golden brand? Wait, core, core. Yeah, Qor. Core is part of Golden. I didn't know that. Haha, that's not true about all watercolors. I have college grade watercolors that are very chalky. True. Yes, that is true. Every brand is a little bit different. Such and stuff and things. So yes, it will. They're all a little bit different. Chalkiness or no chalkiness. But then again, it all depends on what you want. That is the next thing I was going to say, is that they're made by Golden. Core is Golden's watercolor line, yes. Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I think in high school we had Golden for our acrylics, but I can't remember. I don't think I've really ever tried Golden, the brand. I definitely use Liquitex. Liquitex is the acrylic paint that I picked up because I have. God, I can't wait to get rid of this squawky chair. If I get rid of it, move it to another room. Because it's not broken yet, but I can move it elsewhere. So my first acrylic set was 6 tubes of Daler Rowney, and I was like, okay, and I would paint with them and do pretty things and make pictures, you know. But I was not an acrylic artist, and so I was perusing probably 3 years ago. I was perusing around Walmart, and I was like, oh, they have a little art section. I saw these sets there, and I'm like, oh, it's a Walmart brand. Huh, interesting, weird. So it's like a school grade acrylic paint, which is fine. Totally fine. But then they do sell this at, I think at Delta Art. They sell Daler Rowney. So I was like, okay, I guess it is kind of like cheaper version. So that was the first acrylic set. And then trying to figure out, like, I think I bought this acrylic set like 7 years ago. I bought a little tiny tube set of like 2, 4, 6, 8 to 10 colors of Liquitex Basics. Just little tubes, because as we know, paint can go a long way. A little bit of paint goes a long way, unless you're making like big pieces, then you're going to use it more. But with me, I usually don't ever go bigger than 8.5 by 11. So I don't need a lot. That being said, so I have a set of these, but because black and white are colors you're always mixing with your other colors, I went and I was like, okay, what brand do I want to pick up for like actual acrylics? Because I know of an artist here on Twitch, they're an ambassador for a certain brand, and so I was like, oh, you know what, I'll pick up that brand, I'll check it out, I'll try it out, we'll see how it goes. So I got this guy. Don't like it. It's very jelly. The acrylic is very jelly, and I was like, nope. And so I was talking with Freakmeister Mitch, and we were talking about paints, because I think he uses Liquitex too, and but I was like, I find Liquitex to also be kind of a little bit jelly, like you add a little bit of water and it dilutes it a lot. And so we were talking a little bit, and he's like, you can get different types of quality of acrylics, right? And I was like, what? What do you mean? He's like, you can get full body where it's a thicker, it's thicker, like it's more opaque, if you will, but it's not. but it's like thicker. It has more body to it. Whereas like the stuff I have is like thinner. And so it does its thing. And so I was like, I had no idea. So then I was like, okay. So I looked into it a little bit more, and this was probably like 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, well, if I want to go with like a brand name that's a professional brand, I picked up a black and white of Winsor Newton. Because I was like, okay, well, black and white is the colors I'm always going to use. And so I was doing some research, like I always do. And so this is the Permanent Series AA white. And the professional is actually like a thicker body than I think their other grade. Like they have another grade under this. And so I love the creaminess of Winsor Newton Professional acrylics. So if I were to upgrade, I would go with Winsor Newton, and I would pick up tubes of their professional acrylics because it's so creamy and it's so delicious. But I don't do acrylics often, and I have like 6 of these little tubes, which are I've gotten some good use. And then I have those other little tubes, like a little 10 set. So I can't justify getting the other paints until I use up those more. But yeah, it was like, I learned something. I was like, what? You can do what with that now? So, thank goodness for Twitch artists. We all teach each other something. We all learn something. I've used their liquid acrylics some, and their saturation is insane. Nothing beats the creamy of Golden's acrylics, I feel. Really? See? Interesting. Daler-Rowney is not a Walmart brand. Yeah, and I learned that later once I saw it in actual other stores. But originally I was like, oh, I thought it was like a Walmart brand. They're a college to intermediate brand for all paint types usually. Oh, Core uses a new binder. That's interesting. So they're not using gum arabic. I'm curious about that since it's along the art conservation conversation. Oh. I think I heard something about that, but I don't remember all that was said about it because it was months ago. Look at us go. Getting schooled and learning all the things. Getting edumacated. I love it. I love it. I love these chats. But yeah, there's so many brands and like, again, each to their own. You find what you love and you love it for certain reasons, and you become an ambassador of that brand. Like, hi, Winsor Newton and Daniel Smith. You want to sponsor me? Please? But no, because I don't need more art supplies. No, I don't need to be sponsored. I'm good. I'm good. I'm Peach Gaines. Whoa, that was dark. Abort mission. Just trying to build up these dang layers. Trying to make these bushes look like bushes. Am I succeeding? I usually show people tricks and give lots of tips on my streams.
I volunteer as tribute.
El Espacio Desconocido. I'm so sorry I butchered your name. Thanks for the follow. Hello. Hello. Good evening. I follow you. Show you. I do know. When you stream. Actually, I'm gonna triple check that. I'm 99% sure I do follow you. And why is that out? I gotta put that back in the drawer. Gotta put that back in the drawer. .99% sure I follow you. but I have yet to catch a Strimstram. And the verdict is, I do follow you. And the last time you were... What? 4 days ago? Where was I 4 days ago? 1, 2, 3, 4. It was Saturday. I was out and about. And then you... Pardon me. You were on today. Okay, what were you working on? You were doing an otter. Let's get this Otter Art Fest going. Yeah, otter no. Cute. Oh, and you're using a water paintbrush. Ooh, I like your organization. Ursa. Oh, my heart. You steal my heart of OCD-ness, of organization, of your sketch cards, your ATCs. I need to go back. I need to look at them more. Go back. Go back. Okay. Here's where you pull out the box. I think. Did I go too far? We got light box. Well, there we go. I'm not listening, but you're pulling out a box and you're like, oh, core sketch cards. Little test sheets. Hi, Elle. Let me know what I can call you, by the way. I'm Sophia. Welcome to the Strimstram. Oh, you're talking about me. I am talking about you. You have a little box with like paper in it. And I think you're pulling some out. Aren't you smucking fart? So you've cut up your paper and you have little pieces in a box so you could just pull and go. At least I think that's what that is. Because they look blank, but like, yes.
I volunteer as tribute.
About you. Holy Hobbit! Okay, can I just say welcome everybody? Thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Thank you. But pre-COVID, you would get a lot of followers. You would, like, the amount of followers I've gotten tonight is pre-COVID, the amount of followers. After COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, to get one follower a week was very difficult because Twitch became really saturated. And so it's hard to get followers, but I got the people's coming. That's awesome. So it feels like pre-COVID. So hi, welcome on in. Mayor0987. Hello. Nice to see you. But yeah, I love your little organization box. That makes my heart sing, Ursa. I love that. But yes, I shall hopefully maybe come to your stream one day. One day, someday. And then come pick your brain. Pick all the knowledge. All the knowledge. But anyways, I digress. Your art looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? How's it going? Thanks for that follow. Okay, we got some more chat. I was too busy blabbing my mouth, so now I gotta go back and read the things, do the things. I usually show people tricks and give lots of tips on your streams. Guys, go give Ursa a follow. She streams. It's a lot of fun learning, and also you never stop learning. Exactly. As you probably heard of the expression, you get old when you stop learning. So forever stay long and learn. Okay, so we have a couple links from Cookie about core. Interesting. I found the latter is a bit more technical. But yeah, the reactivation of the binder makes sense in that you'd have better luck with the pans, Ursa. I'll throw you a follow and drop in to see them in action. Cute. I was doing otter on my stream tonight also. Oh, you were talking about me. I was talking about you. Hello there. Also, I've got to see the brush pen in action. For some reason, I struggle with those unless I kind of say F it and speed paint. I use the watercolor brush for plein air, but it is difficult. It's. Would you like some paint with your water? At least I find a little bit when it comes to those water paint brush paint thingies, but it's good for plein air. So I don't do much of the plein air, so it's a learning curve. But convenience, man, convenience. Yeah, I cut up all my cards ahead of time with all types of paper I have for ATCs. Well, that's smart. I used to do ATCs. That is when I first started doing art. I was like, ATC sketch cards? What? Because Otis Frampton, somebody who streamed on Ustream back in the day when I streamed on Ustream. Ustream, I stream, we all stream for Ustream. Sorry. And yeah, he did sketch cards. And so I was like, that's neat. And then I found like the sketch card community on eBay. And then I started making sketch cards and posting and selling them on eBay. And so I did that for a little while. And then I started doing some bigger artwork. Because the other thing too, which is nice about sketch cards, is the fact that they're small. So you can finish a piece quicker than something this size. So you have more opportunity to push art out quicker. Mind you, doesn't mean it's going to be less detailed. Just saying, like, here, throw this in a sketch card. Yeah, it's still going to take me time. But sketch cards are fun. And, well, I did a bunch of watercolor studies. Watercolor studies on sketch card size, and it worked out really well. I would like to do more studies because I did throw these up on my Etsy store, and damn, they were popular. There was like a whole different like types and stuff because I was learning to try and do wet on wet, and so I was following YouTube tutorials. I would make one and then move on to another one and do that one because that one dried because my blow dryer, it's in the bathroom instead of out here. And so instead of doing the whole blow dry method between layers, I would just have a row of them and just give her. Go ham! And it was fun. But I do need to do that again. I think it would be fun with the watercolors. I am the opposite. I find regular brushes hard with watercolor. Oh, really? Okay. For a minute, I was like, wait, what? I find... So, something that I've learned for sure is the fact that... Okay. Paper is important. Quality of your paper when it comes to your paint is really important. Paint is important. Quality of your paint is important. But not only that, paintbrushes. Paintbrushes are like the backbone, of watercolor. Because like I have school grade paintbrushes that I've had from grade 7 and 8. And I was like, they're paintbrushes. Like, what's the difference between these paintbrushes? They're all the same, right? You put paint on the brush and off you go. I proved myself so wrong. So again, Shofira into her research and picking artists' brains. So talking with artists here on Twitch who do watercolor and kind of seeing what products they use and how they use it and what they say about it. I was told that, again, you do you, I do me, and but I was told squirrel hair is actually a really good product when it comes to watercolor because it holds a lot of water. Because when you have watercolor, you want it to absorb that water into the brush and you want it to absorb the paint because then you can paint further and longer. And I was like, yeah, but how different is it? Like, can't be that much different. Hi, Amazon. So, I went and checked out Amazon, and I saw a couple different brands, and I saw like people's reviews, because I always check out the reviews and like the star rating, and then I go and kind of see like what works for me. So I picked up a brand of watercolor brushes that said squirrel fur, squirrel hair, but again, it's a brand overseas, and they don't have any listing on the box to indicate squirrel hair, natural, blah, 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 blah. It was like you kind of had to take the word for it for the listing. And so I was like, okay, these paintbrushes, I think the set of them, hold on. So it's this brand, Fumue. A series fascinates by the beautiful appearance and amazing experience from using. The cover of it I don't have anymore. I think I tossed it, but I got this set, and so I think they said it was squirrel hair. And when I used this set on a watercolor painting, I was like, oh my god, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Like I can paint for days because it absorbs so much water and stuff. And I was like, damn, Sean. And I could get the effects that I wanted. Again, I don't know if these are actual squirrel fur or not. I don't know. But they do absorb quite a bit of water. And then through that, I was like, okay, let me talk to my local Delta art artist people and pick their brain a little bit. And or I picked the brain of someone here on Twitch who works at an art store, but they haven't tried squirrel fur yet with paintbrushes, because they're like, well, humanely getting it, you know, it was kind of like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, no, that's fair, I don't know either. Ignorance is bliss. You know? You heading off to bed there? All right, 1:30 is my limit. It's the latest I've stayed up in a while. Okay, Cookie. Good night. How much water do they hold? Have a good night, Cookie. Thanks for coming in and chatting and just getting schooled tonight. Awesome, awesome. Scooter your booty off to bed. I just got the pen for portability, and if I'm working in my sketchbook and want a touch of color, but for my beginner watercolor course, we were required to learn everything with a mop. Yeah, mop. I do not have any mops, but I would love a mop, but mops are expensive. A mop paintbrush, it's expensive. It's like about $50, give or take, depending on the brand. So the art store I was looking at, it was like $50. I was like, ah! And if I get a mop, I probably would like to get like squirrel fur, squirrel hair. But then again, apparently you can get synthetics that are very similar and can do what squirrel hair does. Which case I do have a couple of synthetic ones. Or you can get a blend, apparently. A blend of like real and synthetic. So, but I was misled when I went and bought paintbrushes, because I was like, well, I want to try squirrel and I want to try a regular synthetic. So point me in that direction. And she's like, oh, this one's squirrel and this one's synthetic. I brought them home, did the research, they're both synthetic. I was like, okay. But that's okay. A paintbrush is a paintbrush and I will use it until I lose it or until it breaks. So ATCs and pushing more are out quicker. I think I'm doing it wrong. So no, it isn't quicker for you? Yeah, you're gonna head to bed too, Ursa? No worries. I should probably scooted my booty off to bed as well. Also, I am well aware of the fact that paper, the brush, the paint makes all the difference in the world. Having them work together is like magic. Yeah. Yeah, I should head to bed. The thing for me is, okay, for the longest time, I was like, nope, I'm going to be a hot pressed girl with watercolor paper, hot pressed all the way. For shizzle dizzle of the nizzle, I need that smooth, flat surface because cold pressed, ew. No, the texture, I don't like that. No. And so I got hot pressed Arches paper, used it. Okay, sure, whatever. Using the paper. And then for poops and ha-has, again, another streamer having their opinions and stuff, asking them what they use and what they like and enjoy, and they're like, oh, I love cold paper, XYZ, here's why, this is who, what, when, where, how. And I was like, okay, I gotta buy a little pad, I gotta try it out, and we'll see how it goes. What? I have now switched to, I prefer cold pressed. Because it does what I want it to do compared to hot pressed. Hot pressed, you can see all the bumps and the puddles and the pools and you can't get really smooth washes. At least with Arches, I find I struggle with their hot press. And so I'm definitely a cold pressed person. And so I've realized that, oh, cold pressed is the way to go. I have yet to try rough. I wouldn't mind trying a little pad of rough to kind of see if I would like it or how it would react. Because for me, I don't like a lot of texture in my paper. But apparently with watercolor, I do. Because even, like, I was using Bristol paper, and there is smooth, or there's Bristol vellum. Vellum is, like, textured. And I was using Bristol Smooth, and I was like, smooth all the way. And then I learned over time that, no, you want some tooth to your paper, because it holds, like, the graphite better. You don't burnish your paper. You can put more layers on it. It works better. So I'm now switched from being like a smooth surface person to textured. Because I learned that texture's better. You get more out of it, so... I definitely ate my words, but you learn. You learn what you like over time. I personally think that hot press and cold press have their purposes depending on what you're trying to do. Yes, there's that as well. I can't stop talking. Yes, I'm doing my job. You're so cute, Ursa. I'm that same way too, where it's like you just get going and you get chatting and conversation, and like that's like streamers as well, where they're like, okay, I'm gonna lurk, and then the streamer's talking, and then you come out of lurk like 30 seconds later and you say something, you're like, okay, back to lurk, and then like 3 minutes go by and you're like talking about something else, and it's like, oh shit, I was supposed to be lurking. Yep, the struggle is real. I understand you. I totally understand you. But that is adorable. That is adorable. I went to college for art, so I live, eat, and breathe art. Ugh. See, I would... Again, I keep saying this like a broken record, but each to their own. You do you. You do what works for you. If you want to go to school for art, if you want to go do graphic design, if you want to go and get the degree to say on a piece of paper, I took the school, I paid thousands of dollars to get this piece of paper, I've got education behind it that paid for my knowledge, that I paid for, I mean, now I have a certificate / degree indicating that I went to school for this. By all means, go for it. For me, I never did. Never went to college, never went to any art classes, But now as I'm older, I'm like, maybe it wouldn't hurt to go and get some classes with regards to art and kind of learn things, you know, like dip my toe in it. But then again, I'm kind of like, do I really need it? Probably not. Do I need a piece of paper to say I'm an artist? No, because I do it for a hobby. It's not something that I'm going to make a living out of. Again, each to their own. You do you, I do me at the end of the day. So it's what you want to do, right? Pursue your passions. At the end of the day, do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. I don't know how to lurk unless it's a gamer. Oh no, I didn't get a degree, so that's even worse. I had to quit because I needed to work and have money for food more. Yeah, Back in the 1950s, our house prices were like $80,000 and school prices were like $30,000 to get a degree. Yeah, houses are like quarter of a million dollars and your degree is 50 million. At least 50,000. Yeah. You want food in your belly? Good luck with that. No, it's disgusting. Yeah. But no, I totally understand that. It's you need to be able to live. But you did get stuff out of it, right? Because me growing up, I think it was grade 9 or 10. They were suggesting like, hey, go to the university, check it out, see what programs they have, see what they're doing, or maybe it's grade 11. Kind of see where you want to go with regards to like your schooling. And so I was in grade 9. Go and check out your university, and I wanted to be a marine biologist. And spoiler alert, never went to school for that. I thought I wanted to be a paramedic. Nope. Definitely don't want to be a paramedic either. But yeah, so I wanted to be a marine biologist, but never got there. Never did that. So, and then I took a year off of school because I was like, oh, I'm going to take a year off and work and figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Figure out my life. And I thought I wanted to be a paramedic, so I went to school for that for a little bit. And then I was like, nope. Because, like, you have to pay every year, like, $1,000 to write an exam. No thanks. And then you have to pay to get into school to get the schooling. No thanks. And then if you fail, it's like, bye-bye money, and no thanks. No thanks. So there's that. And then, so I didn't become a paramedic. And so that 1 year turned into, I graduated in 2005 and we're now 2023. Hey, Google, 2022 minus 2005.
The answer is 17.
Holy fuck. 17 years later and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But I think or thought maybe a nurse. I was thinking about being a nurse, but then again I'm like, I don't know. But I don't know. There's nothing, because like, you know, some people, they literally are like, yep, I'm going to go to school for this. I'm going to be this. I know exactly what I want out of life. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm going to do. Good for you. Me, I'm like, I don't want to waste my time or the money if I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But 17 years later, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to live life and work. I don't need a career, like a degree to go into schooling to do a career. So I don't know, but part of me is like, maybe I should. But you don't have to. That's kind of like the societal, that's like the society pressures. Wow, I'm talking like a million miles a minute. Good Lord, tonight. That's like societal pressures being like, no, you have to get married. You have to have kids after you get married. Like, you can't just live with your boyfriend or your fiance forever. Like, you have to get married. And once you're married, you need to have children. When are you having those kids? When are you popping out them crotch goblins? You know, and it's like, excuse me? Like, for me, I know I do not want children. Nope. You cannot convince me otherwise. And the thing about, like, a boyfriend, if I get one down the line, I'm single. Sorry, I just got weird. The thing is, like, the person I'm dating, they will know I don't want kids because that's a deal breaker. I had a boyfriend at the time. He wanted kids. I didn't want kids. At the end of the day, our 8-year relationship, that was one of the big contributing factors of why we ended. Because he wanted a family and I did not. So, it happens. So, but yeah, so societal pressures with regards to going to school, getting that degree, working in your field with your degree, and like making them big bucks. But no, we don't have to do that. That's no, you don't have to do that. Yep, life happens. Exactly. I did learn a lot about school, but I have learned so much more about talking by talking to people, testing new supplies, reading info on those supplies, plus just with age you learn and know more. Exactly. Twitch, the art community and the streaming community here on Twitch, I love you. I love you so much. Like, I feel at home here. I feel the art community here on Twitch, my eyes twitching, is fucking phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. We do not get trolls. If we do, it's like one every 3 months. One every 6 months. And or we get the spam where it's like, get big followers, get big, blah, blah, blah. And so, but you don't get trolls like you do in the gaming section. And like, trolls don't know what to do with us because we're so loving and charismatic. Or some people just like, bloop, they hit that button of ban and they just ain't got the time for it, you know? So like, I've converted my trolls back in the day. Like a couple trolls came in and they're like, you know what? You're a cool person. Here's my actual username. I'm going to follow you. I apologize for being a douchebag. And I was like, that's okay. Thanks for being honest and real and following me for real and hanging out, you know? So yeah, hilarious. But anyways, I'm off on left field now. What was I talking about? I want to be a superhero still, but it ain't possible. So I had to settle business web work. Well, yeah. Well, you do know the closest thing to being a superhero is a firefighter. Just saying. But yeah, I know what you mean. I wanted, yeah. Okay, as a little kid, my dream of dreams was to own a mansion out on an acreage and to basically adopt all the strays and like raise them on my ranch. Have all the dogs and like just like have a quad and like just rescue animals. Rescue all the dogs and find them forever homes. That was like my dream as a child. My dream job. Plus there's YouTube and Skillshare and so many other platforms that can help you learn art. Awkward. Sorry, I forgot the W. I know I'm awkward sometimes. Akko taco. But no, our community here is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I freaking love it so much. Like, and the thing about streaming too. So any of you out there in the world who are like, oh, I don't know if I want to stream because I'm awkward, I'm shy, I don't have a lot to talk about, I don't have a big following, it's just weird, you know? First of all, do what makes you comfortable. Where am I going with this now? Goodness gracious. My mind's going a million miles a minute. I totally lost that train of thought. Hold on a sec. Please excuse me. Sophia is now rebooting. She has hit an error of .exe. Sophia.exe has stopped working. Please come again. Sounds awesome. I love animals, especially doggies. I love dogs. Dogs are my favorite animal on this planet. And I have a little one sleeping next to me. My little chicky nuggies. My little chicken nugget. Because when she curls up in a little ball, she looks like a chicken nugget. That's her little nickname. That and baby girl. Because Erin calls her little niece, hey baby girl. And I apparently adopted that. One day I noticed I was calling her that. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Erin calls her niece that. I'm like, Erin, look what you did to me. Oh well, there's worse things in this world. Right? As a little kid, I wanted to be an artist. Aww, cute. Cute. I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was a kid. I did little comic books. I think my dad still has some of my comics I made when I was a kid. He's got a briefcase full of like memorabilia. And I think it's in there. Maybe I could grab that for him. If we reach... So, the Shenanigans donation bar, TLDR. So, this month is my birthday month. So, we have the milestones. And if we get to a certain milestone, I'll showcase old artwork. So, maybe I'll grab that suitcase to see if it's in there. And then grab it if we hit the milestone. Maybe we'll go do that. Maybe, baby. Because I'm kind of curious too. But yeah, as a little kid, I wanted to be a comic book artist. So I wonder if I have any of that artwork left. Or if my dad kept it. Now as an adult, and I'm like, I see comic book artists here on Twitch, like Domo Stanton, Peter, oh, he's on here making his graphic novel. He just finished one of his books. And Peters, something Peters. Oh, it's fallen out of my head. But basically, it's like, there's so many artists here on Twitch that I'm like, nope, I could not be a graphic artist. No thank yous. That would be fun seeing that stuff. Yeah, so I'll have to kind of take a look for that. I know where the briefcase is too. So I can go, Snoopy. What you doing? Oh, nothing. Just looking to see if you hoarded my art as a child. just checking things out. Why? Oh, no reason. Nothing. Just posterity purposes. Yep, to see where I've come from. How much I've grown. You know. I can't wait to go to TwitchCon one year. I cannot wait. Maybe that'll be a goal for 2023. But I think I want to try and convince... Well, I don't know if she'd come with me. She did say she would stow away in my suitcase, so maybe. But maybe seeing if Ash wants to go to TwitchCon. And then that or Heather. Mind you, she's been to TwitchCon for sure once already. Because I don't want to go alone. I'm not a good flyer. If I drove down, that'd be fine. But I'm not a good flyer. So... yeah. Are you going to TwitchCon? No. No, I am not. I am not. I want to, but it's expensive. So right now in my personal life, the goal that I'm trying to do is to save money for a new to me vehicle, because I am due for a new vehicle because my car is 20 years old. So I'm saving up for a new to me vehicle. Oh shit. Apparently a drop ended up there. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I'm saving up in my personal life with my job, money for a new to me vehicle because my car is very old. I'm due for a new one. So, I don't, no offense, Sunny. That's the name of my car. I don't trust it to go on like a big long road trip. So to take that to the States, I'd be like, are you going to break down on me? Which, knock on wood. Earthquake. It has not broken down on me. Like, I've not been stuck on the side of the road. Like, I take very good care of my car. Hashtag second owner of this vehicle. Well, because my dad owned it when I was like 15. So he was the primary owner, obviously, because I couldn't drive. Ain't got no driver's license. And then he gave it to me as a graduation gift. So I've been driving it since I was 17. When I got my driver's. But yeah, I don't trust it to take a really long road trip. So, or else I would make a trip out of it. I literally would do a road trip because I love road trips. Love them so much. So I'd like take some vacation time. Maybe like then I would go on my own. I wouldn't mind going by myself. Or I'd invite friends if somebody wants to come along. A bunch of us are going down. Why do you not want to fly? Because I'm a nervous flyer. I get nervous. It's the anxiousness of flying. It's, yeah. I get so nervous. I don't like pass out or anything. I don't like cry and scream or like curl up in a ball and die, but I get the butterflies and I just kind of like I get anxious, just fidget and like get nervous. So I've flown 6 times in my life. Nope, 8 times, 7 times in my life, because one was a one-way due to a emergency accident and having to be flown to the hospital due to an accident. I was not injured, but my boyfriend at the time was. I get nervous too, but knowing that my friend will be at the end to pick me up makes it all the difference to me. Oh, I'm sure I could find a way to pick you up if you did go. Oh, Ursa, you're so sweet. So Erin, Punky Dumpling, she's like, Sophia, we don't live too far away from San Diego / wherever. She lives in the vicinity, like she's in Cali. So she's like, you can come bunk with us. Like, you have a place to stay. We'll go to TwitchCon together. Like, you ain't got to worry. Her and Josie, I think, and maybe a couple other people, they've gotten a hotel room, an Airbnb. They're staying closer to the convention center, basically. And so they're like, you can room with us if you want. And I'm like, I can't. I don't have the funds for it. I can't this year. I'm saving for a new to me car. So that's where the primary money of my job is going to. Once I get that, sure, I'll have a little bit more disposable income on that side of things. But right now it's like, I have to get me a new vehicle. Yeah, because my mechanics are like, Sophia, it is time. You're 3 years due for a new vehicle, and this is why. And I was like, why couldn't you tell me that 3 years ago or 5 years ago? Why didn't you tell me that? I don't know. The car looks fine, but I don't see underneath the hood. I don't see XYZ LMNOP unless you tell me. And then they told me, and I was like, well, pfft. They're like, we tried to, and I was like, you didn't tell me why though. They're like, well, like, okay, I'm saving up for a new one. New to me one. Because to buy one off the lot, sure, granted, I'll get 20 years out of it, hopefully. Because they don't make cars now like they used to. But I do get my money's worth. Like, my whole family, like, I showed up to a family thing in, like, last August. And they're like, what? Your car is still running? And I'm like, yep. They're like, your car is older than me. And I'm like, yep. They're like, how? And I'm like, you need to do maintenance on it. You need to get its oil checked. And when it gets its oil checked, they do other checks. You need to pay for those other checks depending on where you go. I don't have to pay for them. But they do other checks and they check things out to make sure A, your car's safe, B, just general maintenance. And then they call you and they're like, hey, so your the last thing I needed fixing. So they did an oil change and then they're like, hey, so your alternator belt is going to need replacing because of XYZ LMNOP. And it's like, okay, well, we didn't plan for this today, in which case I don't want to take up your time because you got to order the part. It's Friday because I usually get my car done on Fridays due to I have Fridays off. So then it works for me. I can just sit there all day and wait while I go to Tim Hortons and I do art. I get my art day every 3 months when I get an oil change. Some plein air. So I'm like, okay, can it wait until my next oil change? They're like, yep, no problem. So then they find things and then I fix them as I need to. So, but you have to get things fixed. You have to pay for them and get them done sooner than later instead of waiting. And then that's why your car turns to shit, is because you don't get them fixed or you don't get that maintenance done. That's why my car has lasted me 20 years. Yeah, it's 2022. We're currently 22. So, yep. So it's, if you take care of it, it will take care of you. And it surely has. Yeah, my family's like, damn, you sure got your money out of that. And I'm like, yeah. And then some. My good old little Sunny car. Little Sunny. You betcha. You bet that statement. I got my dad got his money's worth. That's exactly what we were doing too. A bunch of streamers I know, and I got an Airbnb and hang together. See, I was supposed to go to TwitchCon back in... It was either 2018 or 2019. There was a whole bunch of streamers going. Like, a ton of them. And, at the time, it wasn't financially possible, but I was going to make it work. I was like, okay, credit card, let's go. But now I'm like, if you don't need to go into debt for it, don't. Hashtag the budget mom. If you want to know about the budget mom, just ask me in chat and I'll go off on a tangent on that. But anyways, so I was gonna go, and so there was a bunch of streamers that were gonna go, and like I originally was planning to meet up with a couple streamers, and I was gonna room with a streamer. And we had things planned out. I was like, okay, well, we need to book the hotel room, so I'll book it and then you can pay me back. But the hotel room was fucking expensive. It was so expensive. It was like, I think $1,100 for 4 nights. I'm not kidding. Like, it was ridiculous. And it was like, I think it was attached to the convention center or across the street or like kitty corner. Like, it was really close. But because I wouldn't have a vehicle, I'd want to be close to it. And so $1,100. The person I was supposed to go with bailed. I didn't pay for it yet, but they bailed on me. So I couldn't go because I'm not spending $1,100 for myself to spend 4 nights in a hotel room. So that didn't end up happening. And then, yeah, so I FOMO'd big time, but such is life. I got to live vicariously through everybody else, and when the streamers came back, they were all talking about their experiences, who they got to meet, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the wonderful, and the awesomeness, and all that jazz. And yeah, some streamers, they're no longer friends with other people, like other streamers. And I'm like, some shit went down. Yep. So, but again, anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Off in left field there, eh? So I was supposed to go, but everything fell through. So I didn't go. But yeah. But that being said, there's always future times. Like, TwitchCon will still happen. It'll still be a thing. It'll still be around, and I'll still be on Twitch and making new friends and having old friends, and old friends being like, Sophia, come stay with us. And I'm like, okay, maybe if I can get down there. So, is there room for 2 so I can bring a friend to hold my hand on the plane? Without going into details, I know some bad shit is going to go down with some people, but we already know it's going to happen. So, right? Yep. The drama. It is brewing and stewing. Yeah. Ako Dako. It's so funny though. Just how things like that work out. I would freaking love it if you went, "Oh, I want to meet you. Oh, you're so sweet." You're not the only person either. Like, yeah. It's there's so many people I want to meet and like hang out with. Like, I have met in streamers off of Twitch already, because Hello Hey Heather, she's a local artist too. Turns out we had the same art teacher, just different grades. Yeah, that art teacher that in grade 7 and 8 that I was like, he's amazing, I loved him, he was senpai teach me. She had him at the school he moved to a couple years later, because she's younger than I. So I was like, what? And so we ended up connecting on Twitch and finding this out, and then we hang out IRL sometimes to, like, we did the sketch club last month, and yeah, no, it's good. So she was the first Twitch person I ever met off of Twitch, And then her and I did the art walk together. And a couple, like pre-COVID, we did the art walk in Edmonton. And then Polish Perspective, he lived in Alberta as well, and he ended up coming to the art walk, and he was primarily there for Heather, but I got to meet him as well. And then Chrissy Mack, she's in Alberta as well, and so she also came up or down or wherever she came and to the art walk as well, and I got to meet her. And then Airbrush Wizard here on Twitch, he's from Canada. He's from Alberta as well. So then he came, we did a meet and greet, him, Heather and I. And so we hung out there. And then I've seen Airbrush at the art walk this past year. Him and I did a meetup. He came down, and we hung out for the day and did the art walk. So I met people off of Twitch. So that's wicked and cool. And there is more people in like the Edmonton area and Calgary. Like there's Sleepy Peach. She's in Alberta too. I haven't met her, but in person, but she's in Albertan, and I'm sure there's plenty other ones. So, but yeah, because there is an Edmonton group where you can go do like meetups and stuff, but from Twitch. And I'm part of the Discord group, but I haven't gone to it because, well, COVID and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, meeting people at TwitchCon would be amazing. Would my ego get too big if someone's like, Sophia? And I turn around and I'm like, hi? And it's like, give me your ID badge. Who are you? Oh, it's Ursa! Mind you stream and you have a face cam. The other thing too is like, there's lurky turkeys here, and like, so people, I don't know what you guys look like, so I have no idea. So if somebody calls out Sapira, and I'm like, hi, how's it going? Like, I have no idea who you are, because you're just somebody who knows me, but I don't know you. And I'm, what? Ako Taco, you know, it's just because you're like, you know me, but who are you? And then they're like, oh, my username, blah, blah, blah. Hey! And then boom, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, and come give me a hug. You know, so. Yeah. TwitchCon would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. But yes, maybe someday. Maybe someday. But then again, the other thing too is I'm going to be moving next October. So then there's that. So I don't know if I'll be able to make TwitchCon, because TwitchCon's in October, right? So I'll be in the process of moving. So that will cause some issues. So I don't know if the timelines will work out. I don't know. I've met a few streamers too, and most of them I'm staying with. Also, just so you know, it actually costs way less to fly than drive right now. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, it's... I do believe it. What time is it? 1:17. Whoops. I'm wide awake. That nap, that 2-hour nap, it did me wonders. 24-hour stream? Okay. No. Wait, is tomorrow Wednesday? This week went by so fast. Like, tomorrow's my Friday. I'm like, wait, what? Super fast. I gotta make some lists of things I gotta get done. Done over the weekend. Oh, I have an art piece I have to sell. I have to mail out. So. And then I'm thinking of doing an art store updates at the beginning of September. Because again, depending on how far we get with the Shenanigans bar, I'm gonna have art pieces that are available that have not been given away. So I might as well put them up on the store. Technically, today's one. Shh! Shh! Hush! The way my brain works is that it is not tomorrow until the sun comes up. That's the way my brain works. Even though technically, yes, Ursa, you were right. It's Wednesday, but today is not tomorrow yet until I see sunshine. Then it's tomorrow. But today is still today until it turns into tomorrow with the sun. Ask your friend to go and ask your other friends if you can bring friends. You can do it. Ursa, the force is strong with this one for convincing. I see you there. I see what you're doing. You turkey. Well, I think their room is full. I think they said they're sneaking somebody into the room. Like, unless I'm confusing one con with another con, but yeah, I think their room is full. And then my friend, she hasn't taken any time off. Like, I don't think she's got vacation time. Because I've asked her about it. I was like, don't you get any vacation time? Like, when's your next time off? Like, when are you getting it off? She's like, I don't. And I'm like, what do you mean? That, and she just bought a new vehicle. So her finances are a little tat. So we would literally have to plan so that she can save and I can save. But our priorities are elsewhere for our monetary means. Mine is to a new vehicle and hers is to paying for her vehicle. Oh my gosh, my nose. So itchy. Pardon me. Is my peer pressure working yet? So you're there. You're so cute. You're adorable. Oh, I would love to travel. I would love to travel. I love traveling. My one of my coworkers here, she's a traveler. We went to Mexico together. Like, I wouldn't have went if it wasn't for her. And so she ended up moving to Ireland. And she's like, come visit. And I'm like, can you come get me? She's like, no. And so she's like trying to convince me to come over there to visit her too. But I'm like, I need a new car first. They're expensive. But she's like, is that thunder? That is very long, rumbly, tumbly thunder. It's not a motorbike. Yeah, so she's like, come over to Ireland. Because her and her husband live there. She met her husband there. But yeah, it's like, I want to. But the minis. And new vehicle is more important so I can get back and forth to work. Because work is 45 minutes away. Yay! I get it. You get it. I know. I know. You're just being a turkey. You're just being a little turkey. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. I promise this is like all bushes. There ain't no pine trees in it. Mind you, this is all bushes too, so kind of makes sense. But good lord, the foliage is driving me bananas. Speaking of bananas, I wonder how Jen's trip went today. How her adventure. How the adventure went. What on God's green earth? That is a turkey wearing underwear? A thong, I'd imagine? Is that Artful Turkey's logo? Artful, sexy, yippers. I saw him streaming the other night. He's like, I'm back. He was doing a doggo. He was working on a doggo. And, he was working on the little nose. And I was like, I was kind of watching it a little bit. And I was like, he's very patient with his watercolor. Like slowly layering. I was like, there is another artist who's just as slow as me out there. Yay! Because good lord, you guys are literally watching paint dry. You're watching paint dry along with me, you sore suckers. Actually, I know what I'm gonna do for my next stream title. Come watch paint dry. Yes. Yeah, there'd be a thunderstorm overhead. They're rolling in. Working on Jay Ranella's doggo. He's another streamer. Oh, cute. I can assure you, I am also super, super slow. Good. Good. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. I apologize to hear how slow of an artist you are. No, it's all good. Rome was not built in a day. And we're here for the process and the end result. We're here for the journey and to see the final result. In which case, considering tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah. I was like, I don't have anything tomorrow night, do I? Nope. So I probably will work on this while lurking in other streamer streams. Because as you can tell, it's like, I got some work done, but it's taking a while. Good lord. So I probably won't finish it before Friday, but you know what? At the end of the day, even if I do finish it, guess what? We get to start a new piece, a new gouache piece. And I have a reference for my next one already. And it's got pinks and purples, and it's very pretty. Whee! And hopefully it'll go faster. Mind you, I'm working on 7x10. Like, the This is big. That's what she said. Sorry. Not sorry. What was I saying? But yeah, I'll probably work on this off stream, and then we have another piece that we can do. Add to the collection. There's 24 pages in here. So 2 down, 22 more to go. Because I want to fill up this book. Unless somebody's like, hey Sophia, that piece you just finished, guess what? It's coming home with me. Okay. Okay. Here's the price. It is yours. So there's also that. But I want to try and fill up an art book. With the gouache gouache. Do the things. Do all the things. But then again, I'll probably get bored of this about 5 paintings in, and I'll be like, okay, let's do something else now. Let's switch gears and then do that. Because as you guys know, I was doing the graphite for quite a bit. I was having fun with the graphite. Who knows, maybe I'll go back to the graphite. Or maybe I'll go back to watercolor. Or maybe I'll try acrylics again and work on an acrylic piece. Or finish an acrylic piece that I have not finished that's sitting in the drawer. In the art. Plus, I talk more than I art sometimes. I'm sure you are so surprised by this. I never guessed. No, I get that. I totally get that. I feel like I have finally found my stride now within the past month of being able to get work done and actually talk. Because before I definitely talked way more than getting work done. Like I feel like I'm managing stream and art better. Granted, I get a raid of like 20, 30, 50 people. I'm like, shit, how do I do this? Because I want to read all the chat, right? I don't want to miss anybody's comments. Because I always feel bad. But granted, it's just at me and highlight it if you really need me to answer a question, comment, or concern. Because you can't get everything. Like, yeah, we got thunder. Because honestly, like, people who can keep